The paper we're diving into today is quite a mouthful. It's called A Formal Model for Inscriptional Physicalism, a non-biological blueprint for aneural life and mind, challenging modern cognitive frameworks through creatio ex materia et instructione, by Joey Lawsin.
Yeah, it's a hefty title, but there's a lot to unpack. So, at its core, this paper is asking, can we have life and mind without neurons, or even computers for that matter? I mean, what if mind and life can emerge from just the arrangement and properties of material stuff?
Right, and Lawson is saying that everything we typically put down to minds, cognition, memory, even the self, doesn't require a brain or even software running on a machine. Instead, he introduces this idea of inscriptional physicalism, where material configurations are the logic, the memory, the everything. There's no abstract rule sitting on top of a physical substrate. The physical structure and the rule are kind of one and the same.
Yeah, and he's got this equation, IO plus EI equals GIE. So, intuitive object plus embedded inscription equals ordered interim emergence. Basically, if you have an object, a corkscrew seed, for example, and you inscribe certain information into it, say by the way its fibers are structured, then when energy flows through it, like humidity, the object behaves intelligently, almost like it remembers or chooses.
And that's not just a thought experiment. He actually points to real examples in nature. Explosive seed pods that store tension, dandelion seeds with their beautiful little parachutes that are perfectly engineered for flight, slime molds that reinforce paths they've traveled. None of them have neurons, yet they remember, decide, and adapt.
It's honestly kind of wild. The paper lays out these 7 non-biological criteria of life: aliveness, awareness, intuitiveness, aneural consciousness, inlearness, livingness, and life. Each one is tied to a physical inscriptional event, like energy flow, geometric preference, or the capacity to sense and adapt.
Exactly. And he argues you can actually engineer an entity that follows these 7 layers, from just being able to convert energy all the way to selfhood. So the potential is there to build brainless, synthetic entities that are, in a way, alive.
The whole mind part is fascinating. He offers this tripartite taxonomy of mind: aneural, neural, and exoneural, where neural is, us and animals with brains, and exoneural is memory and processing distributed into the environment, like ant colonies. But my favorite is the aneural mind, intelligence embedded directly in material structure.
And something I kept coming back to is, this flips our assumptions. Like, we always assume cognition needs neurons, or at least algorithms, right? But in this framework, what matters is how matter is inscribed to capture information and rules through its physical properties. It's almost unsettling. Makes you look at, like, a climbing tendril on a plant and wonder, is there some proto-mind at play in the way it chooses a direction to grow?
I mean, it's tempting to anthropomorphize, but for Lawson, it's not about adding magic or spirit to things. It's about removing that kind of dualism. Cognition, he says, is literally about matter shaping itself in response to conditions. I admit, somewhere in here my brain started wondering, does my old couch, which seems to remember my favorite spot, have a sort of rudimentary inlearness? But then, maybe that's stretching it.
Ha! I mean, hey, Lawson would say it's the inscription that matters, structured memory, not just squished cushions. But more seriously, his model has consequences for how we define life. The fading house entropy model he describes, where as an entity degrades, the higher order layers fade first, identity, then memory, then sensation, until only raw energy flow remains.
Right, it's not death as a binary thing, but a gradual loss of inscriptional layers. Makes you rethink, like, end-of-life care or persistent vegetative states. Where is the line? And for synthetic systems, could they fade in similar ways?
It definitely opens up new questions. For listeners, I guess the takeaway is that research like this doesn't give us absolute truths, but instead really fresh tools for thinking about what life and mind could mean in plants, machines, or even totally new forms we haven't imagined.
Exactly. And it's a kind of raw material optimism. I mean, what if the barriers between life, mind, and non-life are way more about structure than we realized? Honestly, it makes you look at a dandelion. Well, not in my yard, those are everywhere and kind of annoying, but you get the point.
Yeah. So, whether or not we're ready to call plants or slime molds alive in the same way as animals, Lawson's ideas remind us that life is a spectrum, a layered, physical pipeline. It's a fascinating reframing and one I think we'll be chewing on for a while.
Completely agree. So, next time you see a seed twisting or a root sensing its way through soil, maybe give it a second glance. Who knows? There could be a bit of mind inscribed right there in matter itself.